Long fight over land in Palestine is coming to La Crosse. Local church members are gathering tonight in hopes to promote peace in the Middle East. News 8's Sarah Tamer tells us why people in La Crosse are hoping to make a difference overseas. Sarah?
Lisa, English Lutheran Church in La Crosse is hosting an event tonight in an effort to start a conversation revolving around the Palestinian and Israeli conflict. Sponsored by the Interfaith Partners for Peace and Justice in Palestine and Israel, which is a local organization, the event highlights some of the struggles facing Palestinians in Bethlehem, a major pilgrimage destination for Christians in our area and beyond.
If you ask members of different churches in La Crosse why they're reaching far to promote peace, you'd get the same answer.
We need to show compassion to other people around the world.
Peace and justice for all. It seems like a simple message, but the Palestinian and Israeli fight over land and resources is a decades-long battle that hasn't ended. And though they don't have all the answers, La Crosse church members are fighting for a common goal.
They need our prayer in order to find a way to resolve these issues, and they can be resolved. There are Muslims and Christians and Jews who get along really well on an individual basis. It is that larger piece, the political, geopolitical issues that create the problem.
Terry Marcos, a St. Elias Eastern Orthodox church member, says it's not religion that divides people. Rather, it's an issue of politics and government.
We need to take a look at our military budget, how we're spending our money, where it's going, and what it's being spent on.
Marcos, who's traveled to Palestine and seen some of the hardships, says with millions of U.S. dollars going to Israeli military aid every day, it's tougher to reach a resolution.
When I was there, I saw a Palestinian home being bulldozed down. And the women were rushing out and they were screaming. It was a very hard thing to see.
English Lutheran pastor Mark Solis says with today's divided political climate, an event like this can help make a difference, even if it's just in La Crosse.
If there are opportunities to get to know a neighbor who maybe looks a little different than we do, worships a little different than we do, if we understand somebody, if somebody is a friend, it's very hard for us to be mean to them. To be prejudiced.
Now, in an effort to offer more perspectives for this story, I did reach out to several members of the Jewish community, but they declined to comment. I also reached out to a local rabbi who also declined to comment. However, Maureen Friedland, a local attorney here and Jewish member of a synagogue, did give her own thoughts in this statement. 50 years after the end of the Six-Day War in Israel, we are still struggling to find an Israeli-Palestinian peace. There are many sides to this controversy. There are many different experiences that lead people to where they are, and I urge people to read broadly, understand history, and work together for a just and lasting peace in the Middle East, built on human rights for those of all religions." End quote.
Thank you, Sarah. If you would like to be a part of tonight's event, it takes place at English Lutheran Church in La Crosse. The presentation begins at 6 p.m. and runs until 8. It is free and open to the public.